I started sports when I was like 4 or 5. I started playing rugby with the local club at home. It was like 10 lads from my class in school all went to play rugby at the same time. So uh, played rugby at that club, then all the way through to the bitter end. It was just, I love playing sports. My parents were very into sports. They met playing badminton when they were younger or in their younger years. So um, moving on from rugby then, I played badminton a fair amount, particularly when I was in secondary school. Played a good bit, and yeah, other sports I played soccer probably from the age of like 6 or 7 up until I was around 14 or 15. And I played hurling as well, which is obviously one of the GAA sports. I did a lot of kind of fishing and outdoor stuff as well when I was a kid, so did a fair bit of field sports. My kind of focus in sport then came when I was around 12 or 13, so rugby goes from being like a junior or a real underage sport to being kind of a bit more serious. You go to playing full pitch when you're kind of 12 or 13, so that went from kind of training at the weekends to then training during the week and at the weekends. And then when I moved to secondary school, I started playing hurling and badminton more seriously. So I played those for like the first 3 years of secondary school. They were just really good for kind of fitness and general kind of training to get better at rugby. So played those up until around third or fourth year in school. When I was in fourth year then, or going into fourth year, I just stopped all other sports and started focusing on rugby. And then that was the same time I started lifting weights. So I was really lucky when I was around 14 or 15. One of my friend's parents was going to a gym in Cork called Fitness Works. They had like a few Olympians training there. They still have a few Olympians training there. And we were just really lucky. We got good guidance from the start. One of our coaches who had our underage team was big into kind of the Olympic lifts. We used to do power cleans and thrusters and stuff like that with Olympic bars just in the changing rooms when we'd be doing conditioning pieces from the time we were very, very young. And then rugby came to a grinding halt for me when I was 21. And I was just super lucky. I had this other sport that had kind of been developed concurrently with it on the back burner. I was very, very used to training with a barbell, and it was a kind of made that transition a small bit easier. So yeah, that's the thing with contact sports or with a lot of team sports, is like you'll just wake up one morning and you'll never ever be able to play the sport again. So I was super lucky. I had weightlifting there kind of on the back burner that I could slot into. And yeah, I was doing an internship in a gym in Cork where I was doing some Olympic weightlifting with the coaches there. And then when I went and moved universities to Limerick, up to where Gurf was training, I slotted in there, and was very, very lucky to meet very knowledgeable people and annoy one of them into coaching me. And that's where weightlifting kind of really started in earnest for me. My PBs in weightlifting: snatched 125 kilos, clean and jerked 155 kilos. Maybe it was 150. I definitely cleaned 155. Maybe it is 150. Back squatted 230, deadlifted 250, bench pressed 140. Oh, and a hex bar deadlifted 283, I think. Definitely my goals when I started lifting weights first were just to get better at rugby. So I was like 14 or 15, as I said, I was quite light. I went, just like rugby underage is very much physique dependent. It makes a massive difference if you're bigger and taller than everyone else, or if you're stronger and more powerful than anyone else. So that was 100% the goal when I started, was just to get bigger and stronger. Then when I started actually weightlifting, my only goal was to have the requisite weightlifting numbers I'd need to compete in CrossFit, because I was training in a CrossFit gym at the time. And then once I hit those numbers, I kind of just stayed with weightlifting, and I was kind of non-goal orientated at that point with weightlifting. I just really like training and like lifting bigger numbers. My most memorable training session in weightlifting, I think, was the day I snatched 125 kilos. And it was memorable in the fact that it was like I had a big realization when that happened. I'd been training like pretty hard for like, I think it was like 13 or 14 weeks into that training block, and my snatch had gone up considerably. I had snatched like 117 a couple of weeks beforehand, and then during that session I went like 115 or something like that. Then I went 121, and then I went 125, and I just remember all the snatches going very, very well. Like that 121 is still probably one of the best heavier snatches I've ever done. But I remember walking out of training after that being like, oh, this is as good as weightlifting will ever get. And that's kind of a session that's stuck in my mind ever since. I'm not sure on that. I definitely like people who go and do like the big challenges and things like that. So I definitely like watching people like Fergus Crawley. I really drew a lot of inspiration from the other guys who were trying to do the 5 minute mile and 500 pound squat in the same day. But geez, I don't know. Do I have a current role model in sport? To be honest, definitely our coach Daire is a massive role model. He started jiu-jitsu later in life, and now he's an absolute winner. So he's probably well up there on that list. My plan for 2023 is a competition in February in jiu-jitsu. So all my focus will be going there in terms of strength and conditioning work and in terms of just like general training. Once I finish that competition, I'm going to keep going with jiu-jitsu, but I'm probably going to change over some of the lifting work into being focused mainly on a heavy clean or heavy hang clean in particular, for a particular event we're doing during the summer. So I want to get a nice big heavy clean or big heavy hang clean. I really, really like 180 kilos. So I think that's where I'm going to focus on that. Maybe creep up above 100 kilos again with body weight, focus on that. And then after that, who knows, I'll probably just aggressively drop body weight again, try get down to the low 90s again, and probably just pick another big challenge, whether it be the 5 minute mile and 500 pound squat or something along those lines. I'll probably just pick one of those and train towards it.
That's it.
That's it.